Live from the Al Roker Television Studio, this is WTOP 10 News at 10. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Dan I.
And I'm Cassandra Genoa. In tonight's top story, a Roman Catholic nun faces up to 6 months in prison after she pled guilty today to grand larceny. 68-year-old Sister Mary Ann Rapp was arrested back in November for stealing more than $128,000 to aid her gambling addiction.
Now, she will also be forced to pay restitution. Rapp was arrested in November after internal audits at 2 rural western New York parishes, St. Mary's in Holly and St. Mark's in Kendall, discovered some discrepancies in the reports. Investigators say she used the stolen money to feed her gambling addiction at western New York casinos. In other news, 2 Oswego men were charged with burglary after the residents came home.
And a Syracuse man was caught on tape crashing into multiple vehicles. We'll have all this and more in just a minute, but first, a quick check outside with your weather with James Gilbert.
Thanks, guys. Right now it's chilly 47 degrees outside, calm winds, and it is raining. It's been raining for about 2 hours now, and it's just starting to pick up. There's been actually some thunderstorm reports about 100 miles west of here. Now, this rain is going to continue throughout tonight, and by tomorrow morning it should break up and be relatively quiet rain-wise throughout the day tomorrow. But by tomorrow evening, the rain will return, and that is going to continue throughout the rest of the week. I'll have much more in my full forecast. I'm James Gilbert. Back to the news desk.
2 men with track records in the state prison system are in more trouble tonight as they were charged with felony burglary. 57-year-old James Minkler and 40-year-old Jason Ranzer were arrested Friday night after a foiled burglary attempt in which the owners of the house came home. Minkler has been convicted in the past of drug possession as well as intent to sell, as well as sexual abuse. Ranzer has already served almost 4 years for a prior burglary charge. Both men were sent to the Oswego County Jail.
A car speeding down James Street in Syracuse's Eastwood neighborhood hit a curb, then collided with a car and an SUV before finally coming to a stop. Syracuse police say 90-year-old Earl Jenkins of Liverpool was driving westbound on James Street when he hit an unoccupied parked car. Jenkins was transported to Upstate Hospital with an ankle injury while everyone else got out with no injuries. The cause of the crash is still under investigation.
A boil water advisory is in effect tonight for the towns of Sandy Creek and Lacona. The Oswego County Health Department says that the system lost pressure this morning, which can allow for harmful bacteria to enter it. The advisory recommends that water be boiled for at least 1 minute and that boiled or bottled water should be used for all personal purposes until further notice. The health department also says that the public will be told when the water is safe once again after tests have been conducted to check those bacteria levels.
A federal judge has set a trial date in the child pornography case against David Renz. Renz is the man who also is accused of murdering a Liverpool school librarian and raping a 10-year-old girl last month. Judge Norman Mordew is scheduled to hear the federal child pornography case on June 3rd. 2 weeks ago, a grand jury indicted Renz for possession and receipt of child pornography. An Onondaga County grand jury is considering charges on rape, murder, and kidnapping against Renz.
Well, the Dow reaches another milestone, another record close in what is turning out to be a strong year for the Blue Chips Index.
Allison Kosick reports from the New York Stock Exchange.
Another record-setting day on Wall Street. The Dow closed at a new all-time high Tuesday, 14,673. Initially, it was a slow start to the session because some weak quarterly earnings from Alcoa. The aluminum giant is the first to report results, and the thinking is that could set the tone for the rest of corporate America. But positive economic reports out of China and Europe lifted the mood. But remember, hitting this new record isn't much of a milestone because these days they're almost commonplace on Wall Street. The Dow is up 12% this year, and the Dow and the S&P 500 have hit multiple record highs lately. Analysts say this is all momentum. The path of least resistance for the market continues to be to the upside, partly because the Fed is pumping billions of dollars into the economy, but also because housing, spending, and other data shows the economy is recovering. One notable mover today, JCPenney, shares plunged 12%. Yesterday, we got word CEO Ron Johnson stepped down. Analysts say he changed too much, too fast. Advertising, pricing, the logo. Customers felt alienated. JCPenney's sales and stock price tanked under his watch. At the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Allison Kosick.
The New York State Parole Board is rescinding the release of a man convicted of murder in 1982. The New York State Department of Corrections confirms that Howard Marnell will not be released on April 16th as previously scheduled. Marnell has been denied parole 8 times in the past, but was granted release back in March. The parole board says that it is asking for more people to give statements relating to Marnell's hearing, which is now scheduled for May. Marnell murdered his sister-in-law Sandra Ulrich in 1982, and Ulrich's family still believes that he is a danger.
Senator Chuck Schumer announced Tuesday that the Lockheed Martin mission systems and sensors in Owego have received a Navy contract awarding totaling over $13,000. Schumer says the contract will improve the ability of the helicopter to transmit data, allowing it to provide more information to military commanders. The contract will extend a previous contract, data and software systems upgrades that will be expected to be completed in June 2015.
The art exhibitions Imagining Cuba and Projections will be on display Wednesday in the Tyler Art Gallery from 11:30 until 3 p.m. Projections is the Spring Master of Arts exhibition, and Imagining Cuba focuses on the work of 10 Cuban and international photographers whose subject is Cuba and the Cuban culture. The exhibition is free.
The 2000 German-Turkish road movie In July will be viewed this Wednesday, April 10th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. The movie by Faith Adkin will be shown in the Campus Center auditorium with free admission. For any of those without a campus parking sticker, parking is available for $1.
Well, coming up after the break, Governor Andrew Cuomo suggests stricter laws when prosecuting corrupt officials.
And we'll be right back with your full weather report with James Gilbert.
Oswego MBA program, helping you achieve your goals with a customized curriculum developed with flexibility in mind. Take classes year-round, full or part-time in Oswego, online or at the Metro Center in downtown Syracuse. More information is available online or by calling 315-312-2911.
Last night, Lori Capricuzzi scored 2 goals on Alya Brian Love.
And Joe, get out. Adam, you're in.
Lori Korpikovsky scored 2 goals on Ilya Brizgalov. Got it!
All right, James, so this weather has been completely off and on this past week. Okay. It was really nice, now it's raining, so what do we
Yeah,
got?
actually that's kind of really going to continue, except add cold weather.
Oh, man.
So rainy, cold conditions, we're just really going to power through this week.
Well, we'll just have to live with it, I suppose. It is Oswego in April.
True.
Yeah, that's very true. Let's take a look at our radar right now outside. As you can see, just pretty much a large area of rain right over us. As we can see, we do see a little bit of yellows. I was just outside right here in Oswego, and only light green, so it wasn't really anything heavy. But if we do look out west over southern Ontario, we do see some golds and some dark yellows. That's actually some thunder, actually, that's occurring over there. So this rain is really going to continue overnight, and it's going to be a real nuisance through the rest of the week. Outside right now, like I said, it's raining. It's 47. Real feel is 47 because the winds are calm. But if you go outside and you're not wearing a hat and that rain starts hitting your head, it feels much colder than it really is. If you look around New York State, something really interesting that we'll see. We do see cold temperatures to our north, 43 in Plattsburgh, 45 in Watertown. But as you move further south, you see much warmer temperatures. Look at this, 58 in Binghamton, 62 behind me in Poughkeepsie, and 76. It's covered by the graphic, but 76 in New York City. And that's because we have a really steep temperature gradient. That's just the difference over temperature over a certain distance. And we have a front right here, a stationary front, that's really just sat itself there, and that's what's giving us our rain. So tomorrow, Futurecast, 8 a.m. It's going to be clear for us right here, but it'll be mostly cloudy, not raining. And we do see some rain to the south of us. And as we move throughout the day, 2 p.m., that rain is going to creep closer and closer to us. Buffalo's going to be feeling some rain, Niagara County. And as that moves further and further east, by 8 p.m. tomorrow night, yep, there's the rain. That rain is going to start tomorrow night, and then it's going to continue throughout Wednesday and into Thursday. So if we take a look at our surface map analysis, look at this. There's that stationary front that I was talking about right along here, just to the south, just south of the southern tier. And look at all these lows. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 low pressure systems. And that's what we were talking about, how it's been on and off rain a lot. During the day, we might see some dry periods, but at night, we'll mostly see rain. And that system is just going to slowly move eastward to bring more and more rain for us. Now, Wednesday, there's that stationary front. No summer-like conditions for us, unfortunately, because we are north of that stationary front. So we're going to be seeing mostly rain, more typical April highs, but it's actually going to get colder and colder as we go throughout the week. So again, Wednesday, mostly cloudy. The rain will start late. Once by nightfall, we can probably expect more rain. Only a high of 46. Thursday, this is going to be the day that we're really going to see probably the most rain. It's going to get actually heavier late. Northeast winds, 15 to 20 miles per hour, is going to keep us only into the upper 30s. Today's probably a good day that you can maybe catch up on those semester-long projects that we might really haven't started looking at yet. I know that's what I'll be doing. And so by the end of the week, that jet stream is going to dip down. That's what's going to give us those colder temperatures. We might see a little bit of mixed precipitation, but you can bet on mostly rain Thursday, Friday, and then tapering into Saturday. So here's our 5-day forecast. Again, mostly rain that we can expect throughout the week. Thursday, that's going to be the really heavy rain day, and you can expect that to continue through Friday. Temperatures 42, only 41 on Saturday, but those rain will be hopefully tapering off. And then by Sunday, maybe a day without rain. Back to the news desk.
All right, thanks very much, James. Turning to state news now, tougher punishments for corrupt officials may be right around the corner as Governor Cuomo proposed new laws today for the officials as well as those who bribe them. The new Public Trust Act comes after 3 downstate officials were involved in a bribery scandal just last week. The plan includes 3 new crimes: bribing an official, scheming to corrupt the government, and failure to report incidences of corruption. The governor's plans would also strengthen the power of local district attorneys in going after these corrupt officials.
New York corrections officials have proposed letting local jails across the state close their law libraries used by inmates. The State Commission of Correction estimated that this could save each jail about $5,000 a year, though the 63 jails would still have to preserve prisoner access rights for legal materials. These rights could be accomplished by computer terminals with online access, similar to the approach in the state prison system. The final rule, if adopted, would take effect on May 18th.
The U.S. Air Force plans to ground about 1/3 of its active duty forces of combat planes due to budget restrictions. General Mike Hostage said this afternoon that the branch now might not be able to respond immediately to every event where it is needed. The specific units and bases affected have not been released yet, but the cuts will affect fighter planes and bombers. Hostage says that efforts such as the war in Afghanistan will remain fully supported and other units will stand down in a rotation-like manner.
A student went on a building-to-building stabbing attack at a Texas community college today, wounding at least 14 people before being subdued and arrested. The attack occurred at around 11:20 a.m. on the Lone Star Community College System's campus in Cypress. At least 12 people were sent to hospitals, with many receiving injuries in the neck and face. The attack came 3 months after a different Lone Star campus was the site of a shooting in which 2 people were hurt.
Coming up after the break, Alicia Daddario tells us more about some furry visitors that visited campus.
But first, here's a look at your late night menu.
Oswego MBA program helping you achieve your goals with a customized curriculum developed with flexibility in mind. Take classes year-round, full or part-time in Oswego, online or at the Metro Center in downtown Syracuse. More information is available online or by calling 315-312-2911.
Carmen Presti, owner of the Primate Sanctuary in Niagara Falls, visited SUNY Oswego on Friday, giving a presentation with the help of some furry friends. This is Sarah, a 10-year-old black and white capuchin. Presti presented 5 primates, giving some background on each and showing us some neat tricks. Next up, Emily, who is one smart monkey.
It's because of the noise she makes. It sounds like she's crying. She'll go. Piece of licorice, which is a special treat for her. And she has 2 handfuls. That means 1 in monkey language. 2 handfuls, grab as much as you can possibly do.
And last but not least, Maya, who was the comedian of them all.
You ready? Can you clap? Sure. Let's see if she'll give me a high five. No. Give me a high five. Give me a high five first, maybe you'll clap. Ready? High five. You have to slap, you gotta hit her first.
These cute little monkeys were rescued by Presti, and we thank them for the wonderful visit.
Yeah, guys, it was a great crowd. My favorite part was when the monkeys started clapping. It was so cute. My favorite part.
Now I heard that someone actually got proposed to.
Oh my gosh, yeah, it was so adorable. The monkey actually gave the ring to the guy, and then he gave it to the girl. So it was like, monkey, guy, girl, marry me.
Now how could you top that?
Yeah, take notes, guys. Dan.
Absolutely, absolutely. I will take notes off of that. Thank you very much, Alicia.
You're welcome.
All right, well, we have a new national championship in college basketball. And unfortunately, Cassandra, we were here last night.
Yes, we didn't see it.
No, we didn't get to see most of the game, but I'm sure that Joe Noel will give us everything we need to know about the game and more. So now we'll take a full look at sports with Joe Noel.
All right, guys, well, thanks. First, we're going to get some local sports. Now, although the season's over, it was still a great day for the Oswego State women's hockey team, as 8 members were named to the 2012-2013 ECAC West All-Academic Team. In order to be named to the team, an athlete must have a cumulative GPA of 3.0 and must have completed half of her team's contests during the year. Juniors Olivia Borson, Chelsea Hunt, Leslie Jarvis, Maddie Paul, Melissa Seamont, Emma Smetanik, Jocelyn St. Clair, and sophomore Bridget Smith were the 8 players named to the team. Also moving on to men's ice hockey, the team was also awarded as well, after several players on the team were given end-of-the-season awards given out by D3Hockey.com. Paul Rodriguez was named the D3Hockey.com National Player of the Year, East Region Player of the Year, and All-East Region First Team. Zach Josepher was named All-America First Team and East Region First Team, and lastly, Luke Moody was awarded All-East Region Second Team. The Lakers men's team was the only team to have 3 honorees. Now to the big story last night. In what was the last season for Big East basketball, the Louisville Cardinals made sure the conference went out with a bang. The #1 overall seed was able to hold off the 4th-seeded Michigan Wolverines 82-76. Louisville rallied from a 12-point deficit in a matter of minutes earlier on in the game in their quest to come back and win. Louisville's coach Rick Pitino became the first coach to win national titles at 2 different schools. The Cardinals went into the tournament as a #1 overall seed and lived up to the hype. There's a loaded day of Laker athletics tomorrow afternoon, including some SUNYAC matchups that could have playoff implications. Already this early in the season, Brian Tossi is live with more on tomorrow's key games. Brian?
All right, thanks, Joe. And, you know, you're looking around at the Laker campus. Athletics has been booming in the last couple of years. Well, tomorrow we've got a big treat for a lot of Laker fans around Oswego. First off, just looking at the baseball team, who's had a pretty good year. They're 10-8 on the season, 3-4 in the SUNYAC. Tomorrow, they take on a St. John Fisher team out of conference. They're a very good opponent, and it's going to be an interesting one. The Lakers coming off of a 2-game losing streak against New Paltz, in which they lost 10-1 and 6-3 in a doubleheader, and that was part of a 3-game losing stride in the series against New Paltz on the season. So that one's going to be a rebound game for them against St. John Fisher. But then you look over onto the lacrosse turf, and Oswego has to go to Potsdam to take on Potsdam in a SUNYAC contest. Right now, they're at 1-1 in the SUNYAC, but they've had a good season at 6-3 so far, coming off an overtime upset against Plattsburgh, in which Joey Kramer put up a heartbreaker within a minute and a half in overtime. So it's going to be a rebound for them. On top of that, you have both tennis teams playing, softballs in a doubleheader. So a big day for SUNY Athletics. You definitely want to check those out. Once again, the time for the baseball game is at 2 and 4:30 p.m. on the Laker campus over at Laker Hall on that baseball field. But definitely going to be a day that you want to keep an eye out for all these teams. A lot of SUNYAC play going on. We'll send it back to you guys in the newsroom.
All right, we will be back in just 90 seconds.
But first, let's take a look at your community calendar.
The Oswego MBA program, helping you achieve your goals with a customized curriculum developed with its in mind. Take classes year-round, full or part-time in Oswego, online or at the Metro Center in downtown Syracuse. More information is available online or by calling 315-312-2911.
Welcome back. Jobs at companies like Google and Facebook come with fringe benefits like meals and yoga classes.
But as Erin McPike reports, Uncle Sam could be looking for his share soon.
The cushy life out in the expansive offices of Silicon Valley.
I love massages. I'm a spa queen.
It comes with lots of bonuses, but not all of them are cash.
We have yoga, we have Pilates. Food here, by the way, is great.
But free lunch, you know there's no such thing.
There's any type of amazing cuisine, even better than some of the restaurants in New York.
Big tech companies out west are in fierce competition to attract top talent, so they're not the least bit shy about publicizing their perks. As the April 15th tax deadline nears, The Wall Street Journal reports there's a debate looming about whether all those freebies ought to be taxable. The IRS has stringent guidelines on what employers can feed their employees, and the test of whether those meals count as income, convenience. If you work on an offshore oil rig, you can't exactly run out for a burger. So the tax man says your company can feed you tax-free. But what about those tech companies? They're often in places with plenty of restaurant options. They say it's all about culture, like at Facebook, voted best place to work on the website Glassdoor.
I really feel like Facebook sometimes is a utopia in like the best of ways. The cool thing about Facebook's sort of approach to benefits is, you know, they're really focused on removing stress from our daily lives. So it's things that like make it easier for me to focus on my work.
Being together, working together, and yes, eating together.
Recent press is going to get the IRS more interested in this issue generally.
Tom Cryon is a tax attorney who represents companies in cases like this. He says the IRS has been investigating perks for years, like the way high-level executives fly on corporate jets for their personal use. But meals for the common techie?
It hasn't been seen as this big abuse area. You know, the law is law, so they're going to look into this when they audit you. And it's as you said, the dollars can be huge depending on the size of the company.
The state of Alaska is working in the opposite direction of the federal government as it looks to pull back on its taxation of oil suppliers. President Obama has recently pushed to end tax breaks for oil and gas companies, and now the state house in Alaska is looking to give even more. The state is attempting to stem the dwindling production of oil coming from its suppliers. Opponents of the plan, though, say that this is just a greedy grab by the oil companies. That will cost Alaska billions of dollars.
A dog left for dead on railroad tracks was saved by an alert train engineer. Now Banjo, as the dog has been named, is waiting for the perfect family to adopt him. Banjo was left to die a week ago when the dog's previous owner tied him to a train track in Mecca and walked away as a train was approaching. The train was approaching down the track when the engineer spotted something on it and pulled the emergency brake. The dog now has a new name and hopefully will soon have a new home.
Well, if you're struggling through the 1-4 language requirement here at Oswego, this kid might be able to help. Timothy Donner has taught himself a host of languages, starting with Hebrew, which he learned so he could keep up with his favorite Israeli dance music. He speaks 23 different languages, which he says are useful when eavesdropping or if somebody insults him in a different language.
Northern Chinese resident Jen Feng divorced and sued his wife for $120,000 and won. The crazy part? Feng was horrified at how ugly the baby was and demanded to know who his wife had cheated on him with because the baby resembled neither of the parents. As it turned out, his wife didn't cheat, but did spend $100,000 on intense plastic surgery to severely change how she looked before she met him. Feng claimed that she got him to marry him under false pretense. That false pretense being she wasn't good looking. And before we say goodnight, here's one final look at your forecast with meteorologist James Gilbert.
So outside tomorrow morning, if you have a morning class, it should be temperature should be in the low 40s and really not climb too much. Only really top out at 46. It should be relatively dry during the day, but we can expect by dinner time and nightfall for there to be some rain, and that rain is really going to just continue throughout tomorrow night and into Thursday and into Friday. So that's really what we're working with for the next couple of days. It's just lots of rain, colder weather on our way. So,
well, you know, we've had a nice couple of days, and the way it looked, downstate had a really nice day today,
really nice.
Especially down in New York City and Long Island area. But once, like I said, it's April in Oswego. We'll have to take what we can get.
Yeah, once you get below that front, you know, it's just amazing the temperature. It's like 30 degrees difference, you know, between here and New York City.
Yeah, it's insane. Now, I just wanted to say, everyone that was watching, I was extremely excited about the monkey story.
We could tell.
So that's where the oh
It did
God
appear that
moment
way.
came from. I was like, oh my God, we're talking about monkeys. So, just so everyone knows.
Not her fault.
Not
All
my
right.
fault.
That's a great
All right. That will do it for us here. For the entire 10 News team, I'm Dan I.
And I'm Cassandra Genoa. Stay tuned for Two Girls at One Desk. Good night, Oswego.